Year is 2235 and the world has crumbled down at the hands of nuclear war. Only one country stands strong enough to be called a government. They call themselves the Republic of Zamzar. Citizens are starving, neglected, enslaved, and once in a while, masses of people go missing. The country is divided into sectors to ensure that there are no uprisings and that order is maintained. Rebels have come and gone, but public executions have stopped. Obviously, the rebellions have grown so much that the government wants to cover them up. This is the story of 3 rebels from Sector 3.
They've seen us! The girls!
Where are we? No idea. God.
Hey, ladies.
Oh my god, who is that?
Never gotten that reaction before. My name's Mayhit. Nice to meet you.
Kinda stuck here.
Sorry about your luck.
Ugh, Eureka Vodka. How do you even get alcohol in here?
Let's just say they owe me. So how'd you pretty ladies end up in here?
My father is one of the missing, and the others lost both their parents. We snuck into the control room in Zamzar Palace, and then they caught us. But we found out everything that they're doing.
They're cloning, or at least they're trying to. They take out sector citizens and experiment on them. They're so sick that they're calling it the cloning games.
The palace? How'd you guys get in? Wow, security has been failing since I quit.
Quit? You used to work there?
Yes, I was head biologist on the cloning games project before I found out what they were doing. Once they perfect the clones, they're going to create an arena where they make them fight to the death. At the age of 2, they start training those things, turn them into killing machines. And then, once they're 12, they throw them into the arena and make them kill each other. It's going to be a bloodbath and it'll all be televised.
That's disgusting. So why are you still alive?
Well, they technically haven't perfected human cloning yet. They've only really done things like sheep, rabbits, rodents, and pigs. But if you don't remember, a long time ago, a few centuries back, when they finally perfected the first clone, Dolly the sheep, it was kind of a big deal. They're hoping to recreate that moment when they first cloned the humans.
Hey! Shut it, guys! Or I'll rip your tongues out!
So what's our next step?
So here's what you gotta do. You gotta get to the main control room in the palace again. Steal the files. Then you gotta run to the telescreening room. You connect the file video of all the cloning game plans and files that they got. Then you display it for all the sectors to see. Because you know what? After a few seasons of the cloning games, they're going to get bored and they're going to have to resort to the people in the sectors. You need to warn them, ladies. It's your job.
Hey! I said be quiet! What do you know?
Everything. I know that you're taking the strongly built and attractive men from the sectors for their desirable genes. You're planning to clone them. And you're taking the women for their eggs and so they can birth the clones.
With somatic cell nuclear transfer, you begin by extracting an egg from a woman. And then you enucleate it, which has all her DNA. Take out the nucleus, and then you take out a cell from a male donor, the donor that you're going to be cloning. You take that cell, you take out its nucleus, and inject that nucleus into the donor egg. Then when you do this, you add some electricity, fuse the two together, and it basically mimics sperm and egg fusing together in natural reproduction.
Tell me more!
So basically the electricity then forces the embryo to...
Come on! I need to know what you know.
The embryo then begins to divide, like cell division, and then you put it in the uterus of the woman, And then after that, you basically impregnated her. And then once the baby's born, it's a helpless baby clone that you're going to turn into a killing machine.
They won't be fully identical because the environment plays a huge role in their physical features. For example, a man who works out in the sun for long periods of time farming would have a darker pigmentation than the ones you are planning to train indoors to murder and hunt. Their pigmentation won't kick in as much as their donors, and they won't be fully identical.
It's not working, is it? So far, STNT has only been successful in animals, and that doesn't help you out because it only works 5% of the time. The first animal you cloned was Dolly, the sheep. So basically, you're using all these humans to see how the transfer works, and you've run into so many problems.
Many of the cloned animals don't even live. They die in utero, in the late stages, or even right after birth. And you know what's worse? The women that you've been taking these from the sectors so that they can basically be homes to these clones and birth them after 9 months, they die during cloning complications, or even birth.
In the meantime, you've been using the other method of cloning, artificial embryo twinning. It's the low-tech version of cloning, except you're farming and harvesting organs for the rich people in the palace.
In nature, twins occur just after fertilization of an egg by a sperm. In rare cases, when the fertilized egg, called a zygote, tries to divide into two-celled embryo, the two cells separate. Each cell continues dividing on its own, ultimately developing two separate individuals within the mother. Since the two cells came from the same zygote, the resulting individuals are genetically identical.
Artificial embryo twinning uses the exact same approach. But basically, you just take a very early embryo from the mother's womb, and that's called a zygote. Then you manually split it up in a petri dish and let the two divide. When they're pretty much developed into two different embryos, you put them back in the mother's body and they grow as two different beings. But they're exactly identical because they come from the same zygote.
Scientists believe that once a cell becomes specialized, such as a heart, liver, or bone cell, the change is permanent and the unneeded genes become inactive. Some scientists believe that errors or incompleteness in the reprogramming process causes disability, death, or deformities in the animal clones that are being made.
That's why it's so unethical for you to even be testing on the humans. Because if they don't die in utero, and if you do succeed, they're going to have severe mutations that they're going to have to live with for their short lifespans. And also, if they do survive by some odd chance and you do figure out how to clone, then they're going to be turned into killing machines for your selfish entertainment.
You guys are cruel. You're using innocent artificial twins as your own personal organ farms.
Enough! You suck them dry until they lose all their vital organs, and then you disconnect them from life support.
I said that's enough. You girls obviously know way too much for your own good.
Egg.
Will they know?
Everything.
Kill them silently. The palace people can't know about them. They'll start caring or something. Especially the sectors. We're outnumbered. If they find out what we're doing to their people, they'll rebel for sure.
They're gonna kill us all for sure. We know way too much. We have to find a way out.
Already done, girls. While you two were being questioned, I found out why Mayhitch was always in the corner. He was hiding the way out.
For those who don't know, this cloning is kinda crazy. That's why there's two different ways. Somatic cell nuclear transfer. SCNT cloning begins with an ovum taken from a woman. Then it's enucleated, extract DNA. The one you're cloning has to donate up the cell. You take its nucleus and put it in the egg. Then for 9 months in the uterus it grows. And if you're lucky, it'll be born a clone. Mutation shown, not fully grown. If you're born a clone, you're disease prone and develop bones. If you're born a clone, embryo twinning, a premature zygote is taken from a woman. Then it's divided in two. They're put in the uterus after their division. It's done with great precision. Then they grow for 9 months before they're born. Cloning successfully is very hard to do. Premature death is what the fetuses go through. The reasons why are still unknown to quite a few. So then animals are what we'll stick to. With animal clones, mutations show not fully grown. If you're born a clone, you're disease prone and develop bones. If you're born a clone, cloning is not a game. It's worked in the past days on sheeps and rats and rabbits and cats. It's work with their DNA. Can't clone me, not presently. You can't clone me. You can't clone. Oh, my DNA! Zygotes fail at being cloned. They die as fetuses. The cause is still unknown. But they're still testing, experimenting, so you know we've already had 20 animal clones. With animal clones, mutations show not fully grown. If you're born as a clone, you're disease prone and develop bones. If you're born as a clone.
Oh my god. Oh, your leg? Oh my god. It's a fly.
Oh my god, the attack of the flies. Can we film?
Did you get that? Yeah.
Ew, get it off! It's huge! Oh my god!
It's like freaking like camping land. Ah! Why'd you kill it? You're so
Coming to the end.
it's so squishy and nasty.
Thanks for sweeping out my shed.
It's Leticia in her natural habitat.
Shut up, guys! I told you, no, I ain't talking in Spanish for you.
Do it.
Don't be asking me to do stuff I don't want to do. Hey, look, it's another white chick. Answer me! Hey! Shut up, guys! We'll rip your tongues out! Do they know? Everything. Hey! What do they know? Everything. Shut up. Ready?
Go.
This. They might finally said.
Keep going.
Rewind!
Pita.
Closing time. One last call for alcohol.
Friends with benefits! You know what she's after! Hey!